The purpose of these videos is not to shame anyone, but to create awareness, because myself too, I have been an addict of such things. All right. So when you give this to your child, they become very full. But this is something that builds nothing in them. All right. Thirdly, the fat content. Did you know that most noodles are pre-fried before packaging? Did you know that? A single serving can have 14 to 15 grams of fat, and about 6 to 7 grams of that is saturated fat. For a toddler, that is already a huge portion of their daily recommended fat intake. So you are feeding them a food that is salty and oily in one hit, right? Fourthly, the seasoning packets. Hey, I have my seasoning here. Don't worry, I had to remove it from the packet, seeing a lawyer. But this seasoning here, this is where things get tricky. The flavor sachets often contain preservatives, artificial flavor enhancers, high sodium content, and in some global recalls, even banned substances used during processing. Yes, noodles have been recalled from several countries, especially in several Asian and European markets. Between 2022 and 2024, instant noodle brands were recalled because their seasonings, this seasoning here, contained ethylene oxide, a chemical not permitted in food in many countries. This doesn't mean every packet is unsafe. Me, I'm not here to tell you all the noodles are unsafe. You make that decision. But also, the findings in these seasons show how risky and inconsistent quality control can be. And also, lastly, if you are feeding this to your child, have you considered the taste training? World Health Organization is very clear on this. Children under 2 years should have no added salt and no added sugar. Instant noodles are the exact opposite of that guideline. Giving them regularly, giving these things regularly to your children, teaches them to crave salty, fatty, processed food, and that habit follows them for life. And you wonder why your children, the ones who are maybe 7 or 8 or 10, are now adding salt to everything that they are eating, because this is what you trained them. Taste-wise, this is what they were trained with, all right? So when you look at everything together, especially in these noodles, the high salt, the lack of nutrients, the oils, the additives, the recalls, noodles are simply not a safe or healthy food for children, even if they seem harmless, all right? Especially children under 3, even if they seem harmless. Parents, don't give noodles because you don't care. I know you care. I know you care when you give these noodles to your children. You give them because, of course, these packets are cheap and kids love them. But now that you have the information, you know exactly why this is one of the foods toddlers should avoid completely. Throw these things away, all right? If you have them, and you know they pack them so nicely, offer. They tell you buy 6 for the price of 5. These things are very cheap and easy. I survived on these things myself for a long, long time. So I know how addictive they can be. But me, I'm a grown-up. Now imagine feeding these things to your child. Anyways, let's please talk about hot dogs. Look at these hot dogs. Yummy. Muga is like, lean, maliza bana. But look at these hot dogs, guys, all right? These hot dogs, of course, we have the hot dogs, the sausages for hot dogs, if that makes sense. And then you come here, the beef Viennas, I'm being told. Then you come here, you have your sausages. I don't know if there's a smoky here, guys, or what Scholar got, but the intention was to have sausages and smokies. These look like sausages all together. But these foods are almost in every household, especially middle-class people. You give these things to your children and they love these things. And unfortunately, these things are the most dangerous for toddlers also, especially under 3. First, let's address the salt again. We've spoken about salt in noodles, but I'm going to repeat again. Most sausages and smokies contain 600 mgs to 1,500 mgs of sodium per piece. Even them, they don't want to be here. They are like, how dare you speak about us? Like, anyways, for context, a child aged 1 to 3 years should only have around what? I want to make sure we all understand from the new deals we spoke about. Should have around 800 mgs of sodium per entire day. So one sausage can give them a full day's salt, sometimes double, before they even eat anything else. And then there is you who is feeding your child 3 of this in the morning. Imagine you've given them salt for 3 days in one serving. That kind of salt, the way you are loading them with this salt, puts direct pressure on their tiny kidneys, their heart, and their blood pressure. All right? And we've not even addressed the nitrates and nitrites in these particular sausages. These are chemicals used to keep sausages looking fresh and red. I mean, look at this. Look at how fresh this looks like. You think it's like this by nature. This thing has just been removed from the factory today and it still stays this red and fresh. Those ones are added to prevent bacteria from growing. Alrighty? But here's the truth. When nitrates and nitrites mix with protein at high heat, they can form compounds called nitrosamines, which the World Health Organization classifies as carcinogenic. And remember, children are far more sensitive to chemical exposure than adults. Where can adults, if you're an adult, take 10 of these, I don't care. You are grown up, alrighty? But for children, guys, look at what we're exposing them to. And then you go to the fat content. One single sausage here can carry anywhere from 10 grams to 20 grams of fat, with about 4 to 8 grams of that being saturated fat. A toddler's recommended limit for saturated fat in a day is about 8 to 10 grams total. So one sausage alone can wipe out the entire limit. And this influences early cholesterol levels. It creates early taste addiction and shapes lifelong preferences for fatty foods. That is why you can't give them boiled soup. They'll be like, Mommy, this doesn't taste nice. Yeah, it is your fault. You did that to them. But let's move on. The protein. The protein quality in these sausages. Sausages are not high quality protein. I know when you are eating this, you are like, my God, this is my protein for the day. They are usually 40 to 60% meat scraps mixed with starch, fillers, skin, flavor enhancers, and preservatives. Actually, someone told us the other day, and it really shocked me. They were like, Lynn, do you know those sausages you guys eat are 90% flour? I'm like, wait a minute. So where is the meat? Where is the meat? These ones, at least we are being told they have something. They are meaty. And guys, we don't even know whether they have any meat inside. But you're giving this to your children, thinking that you're giving them protein, and they feel full, but they are full of low-value calories, not nutrients that build their brain, blood, or immunity. Fifth, and this is the most important, choking, okay? I know you guys don't pay, or maybe some people don't take choking seriously. But guys, these hot dogs that you see here, the Viennas, they are the #1 cause of food-related choking deaths in children. Because of their shape and texture, they can block a toddler's airway perfectly. Even when cut, the skin can be rubbery and difficult for small children to chew. All right? And then, maybe lastly, on these sausages and hot dogs and smokies, they fall under what? Processed meats. And according to the World Health Organization, processed meats are classified as a group 1 carcinogen, the same category as tobacco smoke. This does not mean one sausage will harm your child today, but it means the science is very clear. Regular consumption increases long-term health risks. All right? So when you look at the whole picture, the salt, the chemicals, the fat, the low-quality fillers, and the choking risk, it becomes very clear. This is not toddlers' food. I know it's convenient, it's tasty, it is everywhere, but it's simply not made for young bodies that are still growing and still fragile. Are we together?